And I think WebEx updated their interface, so it'll show all of us at one time now, hopefully. And I think we're live, guys. Cool. We have no concurrent viewers right now.
Par for the course.
Do we want to wait for 5 or 10 minutes for all the few thousand to get in the room so we can start our picks?
Can't show up on time. Don't worry about them.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, welcome. I guess we're starting a new season, but before we start our new season, I do want to recognize that Ricky. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I wish you good luck in your endeavor of having your first child, and
Oh
I
yeah.
hope everybody is healthy. I know it could be any minute now, so I just want to say before we get going, congratulations, man.
Yeah,
I
congrats, dude.
appreciate it. Thank you very much. I would like to tell the viewers, no matter what, having a child, I'm still going to be dedicated to bringing you the best information, the best over picks, the best going with the huge spreads that I possibly can. This is going to allow me to watch more West Coast games, most likely,
There
from
you
staying up
go.
late. So you might see some more Pac-12 picks than you would have. But thank you, Stephen and Ronnie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, now I know I can text you late at night because that's all I get to watch anymore is the whack games. So,
Yeah, so you and Ronnie can be on the same schedule. I'm on the old man schedule now. I'm asleep by at 9 o'clock, so you have to text him. Well, cool. So that's the major change of the year, I guess, right? From last year, from last time we had a discussion. Um, so now we're headed into the 2021 football season, and so I know hopefully we'll have full stands this year. We'll have full fan experience, and crowds will be out and about and at the games, and there'll be a better atmosphere than last year. That's what I'm hoping for. But this year, guys, it's going to be a good year. You know, everyone is pumped up and ready to roll. So we'll start out by just going over a few things. So what did you think of the off season, Ronnie? Did you see anything happen that you want to discuss in terms of like, with the Florida Gators or, with the SEC or with, anything on your mind you want to talk?
as far as the Florida Gators, I mean, we lost a good quarterback. Our next quarterback, I hope he's really good. He's definitely a little more athletic, but just judging from what we've seen over the last, I think he's been there 3 years. He has trouble making good decisions, so I'm a little worried. I'm hopeful. I'm thinking 9-3 for the Gators this year, but I don't know, man. It could be one of those years. It just all depends. You know how it is with a quarterback. Ricky knows. You know, you need a good quarterback. So that's uh that's the name of the game.
Well, that's why it's going to be a great season for the Miami Hurricanes this year. I mean, returning Derek King looks fully healed from the knee injury. Really, the only thing we have to replace that's worrisome this year is two drafted defensive ends. One of them being a first round pick to the Dolphins this year, and Jalen Phillips. So that's going to be one of our biggest concerns is defensive line. I think we're actually stronger in the defensive tackle spot, which we're going to need to be because hopefully Alabama doesn't run on us like North Carolina did last year, where they were averaging over 10 yards a carry. Um, but yeah, excited for the season. Started off against Alabama. Going to shock the world. Started off. It's going to be great. As far as the rest of college football, liked seeing the NIL going, NLI, whatever it is, um, that going through. The world didn't end like some of these stupid coaches that wanted to keep all the money for themselves thought. Seems like everything's working out. People are making some money. Always good to see. Sports gambling open up more and more areas. Florida looks like if everything holds through October 15th, be able to start placing bets in Florida.
We don't know where
And
yet, though, right?
yeah, don't know where yet. But and then as far as expansion and all that, I actually just saw a tweet that it looks like the Big 12 might be going after BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston to add to that conference to replace Texas and Oklahoma. So I don't know. That SEC stuff was hilarious to me, especially Texas A&M being basically like, no, we don't want Big Brother to come back, right, and all this stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. This
So
whole
who's winning the Big 12?
alliance that
Cincinnati?
doesn't really mean anything is going to be interesting too. So, yeah, a lot going on. What about you, Steven?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. I know when I was looking at the Phil Steele's returning starters, I noticed that Alabama was way down the list. I think we're 122nd in the country. At least this was back a few months ago. Maybe it's changed now because people can come and go. But I noticed that Florida was behind us, so they were supposedly returning 4 offensive starters and 5 defensive starters. So if you're looking at experience, Florida, I feel bad for Florida because they're behind Alabama. We lost a lot of people. So, but Florida 127th in the country, so almost at the very, very bottom. So it may be a rough season in the beginning, Ronnie, until you get some games underneath your belt there.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about our offense for sure. And then, of course, our defense was probably the worst it's been in 20 years last year. And so I'm kind of concerned for our team overall. I still think we can pull out a 9-3, but it's not going to be as good as it has been the last year or so.
Yeah, I noticed that. And speaking of Miami, I did see that they were 28th in the country with 10 returning starters on offense and 9. That it can change, I guess, with people coming and going. But and they're returning the quarterback, so they have a good chance of being good. I did notice they had 3 players on the All-American list, so that's great. Unfortunately, 2 of them are kickers, so I'm not sure how much that'll help you there, Ricky. But
Got
at
the
the end of the day,
best
hey,
punter ever.
yeah, and punters can be weapons these days, right? They really can.
I don't know if it was a sign, but Manny Diaz did like a breakdown show where he breaks down different parts of the team. And this week he did the punts. And I was like, is that a sign to say, like, get ready for a bunch of punts during the Alabama game? I was like, this doesn't really make me feel very motivated going into the season. So, but yeah, that's probably what's going to be happening. A lot of punts, and hopefully they're 50, 60 yarders.
Well, cool. Yeah, I mean, Alabama had a punter a few years ago from Australia that was a danger. I mean, he could really just pin teams back deep in their territory, and he was kind of a weapon. We hadn't really punted in the last 2 years, so it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, I think we'll talk about the Miami Alabama game later, I guess. But were there any games you guys specifically did for this week that you guys want to kind of highlight before we get into our picks and all the controversy surrounding, um, you know, Miami, Alabama, and Notre Dame, Florida State games before we get into anything specific that you want
Yeah,
to
I
talk
mean, the
about?
Miami Alabama game, I'm going to say we're going to win because I have to, and I have to believe that. But I mean, it's going to be pretty tough. I think you guys are going to probably run down our throat most of the game. If we're putting it in Bryce Young's hands, I think we have a good shot. But with the 5-star offensive lineman over and over again, I don't know how we're going to stop that very well. And your defense is supposed to be potentially one of your best defenses in a long time. Really worried about your linebackers more than anything. So we'll see. I mean, we got some speed and receiver. We definitely got guys at 4-3, 4-4 guys. So I don't know, like Josh Joby, can we blow him off the top kind of thing? We'll see. But I definitely think we'll have to win passing because we haven't proven that we can run against anybody that has a decent defensive line. Even though we have an offensive line that returns the most starts in the nation. We haven't proven that we can run block well. So
Do you
we'll
feel
see.
like your quarterback, that's probably where he struggles the most is in passing versus being able to
I
extend
think he
plays and
makes
run?
good decisions. His deep ball, he floats too much. He has a very high arcing deep ball. It's somewhat accurate. It just stays up there too long. Where I think if it wasn't so high arcing, I think we could have more touchdowns where a guy that separation stays when he catches the ball. It's not so much in stride as I would like. So hopefully he's improved that. This is the first time he's ever been with an OC for back-to-back years in his college career. And lastly, good thing he's had experience against Alabama. He's beaten Alabama before. A little different scenario, but yeah, we'll see. Go Go ahead, Steven. Talk the shit.
I
not-
was going to ask
I'm
Steven.
not talking any trash. I'm not even supposed to be talking at all to the opponent for the week. That's kind of the Saban mentality is you don't talk at all. You just act like they don't exist. So I'm kind of just sitting back. I think it'll be interesting. I think I'm kind of comparing this to years when we reloaded in the past where we lost a bunch of players, especially key offensive players. Saban is typically has played this safe. Now this year he may just open it up and put it in Bryce Young's hands. I don't see that happening, and that's only because kind of following what's happened in fall camp. You know, the offense he's not very happy with. Not necessarily Bryce Young, but he's not happy with some of the other players on offense. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency there. And there's a lot of people there saying the defense is really good and they're going against a good defense and it's just hard on them. But typically in the past, he's been very conservative in these cases. And, we'll beat Florida State like, when we played them, we beat them like 20 something to 0 or 3 or 7 or something. So I really don't expect a high scoring game from us. I think we're going to play it safe and run the ball and grind it out. Um, and your starter, Miami starters, may be able to hang with us, but I think he's going to try to get to the fourth quarter and go up by 3 or 4 scores if we can. But I don't think he's going to let him air it out if that's what you're asking, because the recipe for disaster is to let him get hurt, and now we're playing with a guy who's never even played a snap in his life, and it's probably not a 5-star. So I expect a low scoring game. And then if you guys can get some touchdowns, I think it could be within striking distance. So I think we'll see. But I'm anticipating a low scoring kind of conservative from Saban. Now he may surprise me and show up and start airing the ball out like like we did last year, but I don't foresee that happening.
Yeah, the only way I see Miami winning, to kind of reveal one of my picks later, is if it goes over 61. We're gonna have to put up a ton of points, like make it a shootout. There's no way that we're gonna win with you guys running the ball on us. So
I mean, I think that's I mean, I don't know how good Alabama's defense is supposed to be this year. I don't know what guys they lost off of defense. I know you said there was quite a few, Stephen, but I think that's where Phil still puts out the returning starters, but it's more like returning production because you have a lot of rotation on defense. I don't know how many guys are coming back for your defense or how good it's supposed to be, but if it's anything like in years past, it might be difficult to put some points.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good. Much improved over last year, even though we lost, Patrick Surtain, who was the, first round draft pick corner. Obviously we can't replace him. I mean, he's a first round draft pick, but we did get a transfer from Tennessee, a linebacker and he was, he's a good linebacker, so he's going to be starting in the middle linebacker position. And then we do have a pretty deep defensive line rotation, although we don't have, as of yet, we don't have anyone who's that, dead ringer, except we do have an outside linebacker who's, who was a freshman All-American last year, Will Anderson. So I think we're going to be a tough defense, but, who knows this opening game? I think there could be some points scored if, if the team doesn't buy in, because that's happened before. So West Virginia just ran up and down the field on us one year on the opening game, and I think we only won by a few scores. But so we'll see how it goes. But I think Miami has a legitimate chance just because they have so much experience returning, and they got some coaches on the staff who have SEC experience. I know Manny Diaz does, and then Lashley does as well. So we'll see. But on the other hand, I think Saban is also familiar with Diaz, so we'll see how the game plays out. But I think it's going to be a conservative game, very close at halftime, and then hopefully pull away at the end. But hopefully you'll be able to watch the game, Ricky.
yeah, no, I mean, from a program perspective, I think we have to keep it within 2 touchdowns, or it's really going to hurt recruiting, really going to hurt any momentum. Because even if you go beat UNC and we go to the ACC championship and then go get beat badly against Clemson again, it's going to be tough to recruit because it's going to prove you're still not on that level or anywhere close to it. So we'll see.
Yeah, and the question I have is, the X factor is Miami quarterback. If he shows up on fire, it could be a long day for us. which could happen for sure. Although I know he had an ACL replacement and then he had an MCL, and so he's back. But has he gotten hit much? And is he confident in his knee? I know Alabama players typically their first year after an ACL, they're hobbled a little bit. Even the first year back, you can tell they're not quite up to speed. But maybe he is. Maybe he's got some good genes and got some good healing powers. But we'll see. He's the X factor for me in the game.
And then there's also that other big game, Clemson, Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Probably the biggest one of the week.
I kind of wonder how well Clemson's going to be able to reload. I mean, apparently they've done pretty well in the last few years, especially even the quarterback that played for 1 year before Lawrence. I think it was Bryant. He went to Missouri. Can't remember his full name, but I think it was Kelly Bryant.
yeah,
He was still pretty good. Like they still wanted a bunch of games. So they keep hitting on good quarterbacks, and that DJ kid seems like he's pretty good from the one game or however many games he played against Notre Dame. But it's gonna be interesting to see. It's pretty good competition right out of the gate. Um, I don't know, man. I think I, I'm not betting the game, but I feel like if I had to make a pick, I would pick Georgia. I would take aren't they getting 3 points? Isn't Georgia getting +3 here?
There was a 2.5 on FanDuel a
Yeah.
couple hours ago, but
Let me pull the game up. You guys keep talking. So it
I
started at
personally think
-4.
started at -4.
Yeah, now it's at -3. Clemson.
I personally, and I know Steven will probably back me up, because of his love for Trevor Lawrence. I think DJ is probably better than Lawrence. Uh, he's going to add that element of being able to run and actually take a hit. You're not going to have to worry about his neck getting broken like Trevor Lawrence almost did the first time he tried to run. So I actually think he's going to be a better quarterback. They get Justin Ross back too, which we all remember what he did to Alabama, a national championship game. ETN, I mean, yeah, he had great numbers and stuff, but he was more just speed. So I don't know that they'll have too hard a time replacing him. Maybe by committee instead of they won't get the 60, 70 yard runs, but I still think they'll get a good running game because they recruit awesome on the offensive line. So I actually like Clemson in this game at the -2.5. But and Ronnie's going to say ACC favoritism. He's also going to say taking the favorite. But
Yes.
Georgia,
Yes,
I don't
all
know.
those things.
I just don't. I don't know. There's nothing that wows me there with them.
But
There
didn't I
also
mean
isn't Pickens out for the year. So do they really have a big receiver?
mm, I have to look at that. I have to look at the injury report here. That's a good point.
You're
But
muted, Steven.
Yeah, while you pull that up, I will say, I did hear Georgia had some fall camp injury problems. I was thinking, full strength, if everybody's healthy, knowing what we know now, it's a pick 'em game for me. Just because I think Clemson probably has an edge, but Clemson to me just doesn't play their potential like they should sometimes when they face, certain competition. And I know they're certainly capable of just going out there and kind of beating Georgia pretty bad if they want to. But I don't know who I trust here. Do I trust Kirby Smart or do I trust Dabo Sweeney? They're both kind of goofy to me. So at the end of the day, I just don't know who to pick. So for me, it's a pick 'em. It's pretty much just let's just flip a coin and pick one, because I think it could go either way.
Is it at Clemson or a neutral site?
I think it's neutral, isn't it? Is it in Atlanta?
No. Maybe actually.
Yeah, I think it's in Atlanta.
Okay,
Let
so
me
it's
look
the
and see.
kickoff primetime game.
Is it
I think so.
Yeah, because that surprised me so it's Georgia. It's in Bank of America Stadium. Is that
Charlotte. Okay.
Charlotte?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it's in
So the
Charlotte.
still probably be 50-50. Okay. Because I was going to say, if it was at Death Valley, I would say that's going to be a big advantage from having no crowds last year. Some of those freshmen that are now sophomores not being used to the big crowds going into Death Valley would have been tough. But if that's not the case, then it might not play as much a role.
Yeah. So for me, I'm just gonna call this a pick 'em. I really don't know which way to go with this one. I think I'm leaning Clemson just because of, like I said, it was a pick 'em before the injuries, and now I think I think I can go lean Clemson on this one, but I don't really have a good feel, to be honest with you.
Then the other games we got Notre Dame, Florida State. Which what am I missing, guys? How is Florida State? How is Notre Dame only a 7.5 point favorite? I mean, I've watched video of FSU practicing. They're using squirt guns to simulate the ball being wet and trying to make sure you hold on to it. They're doing some weird stuff out there. They look super soft and small. They don't look big. Um, I know that Mackenzie Milton is going to be the starting quarterback. I can't imagine after what happened to that guy's leg, him being anywhere close to the same player. So I know Notre Dame is replacing their quarterback,
Yeah.
some other positions, but you would think they recruit pretty well, so they probably got a decent
Yeah.
guy starting. So I don't know how that's not a blowout.
Well, I know, but I'm with you. I understand your logic, but when I look at the returning starters, Notre Dame only returning 3 starters on offense and 6 on defense. So they're actually tied with Florida with the least number of at 127th in the country for the returning starters returned. They're not returning their quarterback. They're returning only 3 on offense. I think most of their offensive line is going to be new, and I think what's happening is people are recognizing that Notre Dame is going to have to travel to Tallahassee, and you know, if you haven't played in Florida in August or September, maybe there's a weather factor going on here on that guy. But yeah, I don't know why the line is so low. You would still think it would be at least 14. So
The only thing I could think of is they're factoring in last year. That last year was a close game until the end, and they're saying, okay,
yeah.
maybe it's going to be the same type of game. I don't know. What do you think, Ronnie?
I don't know, man. That's like the biggest unknown game because I don't know what Florida State's going to look like. I know they had a lot of culture issues down there, and that new coach is trying to fix a lot of that. He's got rid of a lot of players. Mackenzie Milton was a really, really good player before he got hurt. So if he can get back to where he was, that's going to be a big feather in their cap. And Notre Dame, um, you know, I know they get a lot of hype and they play in a lot of big games, but they don't always seem to play well in a lot of big games. So um, I don't know. Usually, like they play. I wish I could look at their schedule here, the last few bowl games or big games or something like that. But it seems like they're going to play um, Florida State. It's going to be 20-13. And it's going to be kind of a not that interesting of a game. So
Can't hear you, Steven.
Yeah, this is like um, if you're writing a story for a fake comeback, this is the perfect situation. I mean, would you be surprised if Florida State eked out 6 point, 3 point victory at home on Saturday night against Notre Dame, who's basically starting their whole new offensive line? And I mean, to me, it just doesn't. I could totally see Florida State. It wouldn't surprise me if they win. So that's where I'm at, just because of a road game for so many young players to come to Tallahassee. It's going to be you know Florida State's going to have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I'm not picking them. I'm just saying it's not beyond my imagination.
The game I think I'm going to have a hardest time, and I haven't picked it yet. I'm going back and forth. last week after the UCLA game, I texted you guys like, "Oh, I can't wait. They blew out Hawaii. That line's going to get close. LSU is going to blow them out." And then Hurricane Ida came, and you're hearing a lot of their families are affected and things like that. So I don't know how to pick that game right now. I know LSU's -3 right now. I gotta assume a lot of them are pretty have been very focused on the sport, understandably so. So I don't know how to pick that game.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that LSU is magically going to turn it around after last year. In the first game of the season, they're all of a sudden just going to be back to where they were a few years ago. Um, so I'm definitely skeptical on LSU. Also, I feel like UCLA, Chip Kelly's had a few years to kind of get their program together. There seems to be a lot of hype going along with UCLA. So I put a bet on this game just from, stuff that I've heard, +4. I think I got UCLA. So I'm definitely looking for UCLA to keep it closer, win it.
Steven, you're on mute again.
Yeah, that's a terrible pick, Ronnie.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll
I'm
talk about
sorry.
it next week.
I do. If I was going to pick the game, which I am going to pick the game, but if I was going to pick the game and I was undecided, I would definitely listen to kind of Ricky's advice here on, hey, they're distracted, and maybe is their head in the game still, or is their head in the right place, and are they focused on the game? But I'm going to pick the game because I'm going to pick it. Um, it's to me, it's a line of scrimmage game, and to me, it's a -3 right now. So I'm going to take LSU and give up 3 points on this one. So we'll see.
Yeah.
SEC all the way, baby.
So, Steven, do you want to outline our season betting scheme we're going to be doing to determine the best better in Florida?
I had no idea what you guys decided. I know there was like 175 texts last night while I was asleep, so I had no idea. I just know I'm supposed to go to some place called BetSperts and put some things in there
Bet
and
stamp.
No,
bet
BetSperts.
Bet stamp.
All right, Ronnie's being
So
difficult. He's going to bet stamp. Me
just
and
saying they got
Steven are going to stay at BetSperts. My login, or not login, my user
username.
ID, rgomezsae, if you want to see my picks. I've already done 4 picks so far this year. I'm 3-1. So if you want to make money, come my side. Steven will set up his account later. We'll get that out. Ronnie, what are you on BetStamp?
Right now, I think I have a losing record. I think I'm like 4-5 or something like that.
But what's your
But that's
handle so
NFL and
people can
college.
see?
Oh, I think it's Ron John 4628. I think is what it is. I can
So
pull
if
it
you
up.
want to see losing picks, please go to Ron John 4628.
I do have quite a few picks on there for this weekend though, that are all winners.
well, the show is called The Squares, and we've had this discussion before. So you should be picking square bets. You shouldn't be picking real bets. Okay.
I mean,
So
San Jose State.
I'm picking square bets. Hey, don't be don't
So quick rules layout real quick. We basically start out with $5,000 each bankroll for the season. You have to pick at least 8 picks each week. You can pick over unders. You can pick spread. You can pick money line. We're gonna do it based on total dollars won. Is how the winner will be decided. If you go through your bankroll early, then you're out. Um, no player props, but other than that, everything's game. You can do up to 1 parlay a week if you would like. So if you need to catch up, you might want to try to do one crazy parlay. But I expect to be in the front the whole time, so I probably won't have to do parlays. But I could see Ronnie having to go down that path towards the end of the season.
I probably won't do any parlays. But just to recap on the Notre Dame FSU game to pull a fire under some of the points I was making. Notre Dame, 15 Fiesta Bowl, lost 28-44 to Ohio State. They did win against LSU in 17 Citrus Bowl, 21-17. Lost to Clemson 30-3 in 18. They did beat Iowa State, but lost to Alabama 14-31. Is that it last year? 14-31 is all y'all did against Notre Dame? Is that right, Stephen? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
They
because
also
they were
beat
happy that
Clemson
they
and they
only got.
played Clemson close in the ACC championship.
10-34, not close.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
lost to Georgia in 19, 17-23. Lost to Michigan in 19, 14-45. So it just seems like a lot of times they get into big games. Now, this is not a big game, and I did bet Notre Dame. So just to kind of make my point here, just because I don't like Florida State, and I found a 7. So I got -7 on Notre Dame. If it was 7.5, I wouldn't have taken it, but it was 7, so I took it because it's Sunday, and I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna need some action. So Sunday game.
So,
Put some
and
money on.
So
just
that's
to
the
right now, there's
Catholics
also
versus crab legs.
That's right.
Steven is going to be also making picks this year. So we got the trifecta. So I have a feeling me and Steven will be aligned in many picks, with Ronnie being the outlier.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to talk about last year, I think my winning percentage was like 67%, something along those lines.
Is there any
But
proof of that?
I mean, they can watch all of our videos and
Yeah,
listen to my
no proof.
picks.
Nobody's got time for that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. But no, I probably will have a down year this year because it's not achievable every single year. 67%.
You
So I
see, you
might
already
go
got
and
built-in excuses.
I'm
Week
not I'm
one,
not doing
the game
excuses.
hasn't even happened.
I didn't say I was going to lose to you guys. I'm just saying I'm not going to get 67% again. So
So there is one thing I want to do this year that we didn't do last year. So Ricky likes picking the favorite. He loves to think that offenses are going to score 8,000 points and always
it worked out
cover.
for him last night.
And yeah, it did. And I like picking the dog. So this year I figured every week we could pick. I'll pick my favorite dog of the week, and Ricky can pick his favorite of the week, and we kind of go head to head on those. Ricky, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I did pick a dog for the week. But do you have your favorite um, favorite favorite for the week?
Yeah, I would probably go with NC State -19 against USF. NC State played us pretty tough last year. They have a good offense. USF's new quarterback is Miami's ex quarterback 2 years ago, who is the worst leader known to man, makes terrible decisions. Most of the time was drinking the night before games, from my understanding. So I don't forecast that team being very serious or having great leadership. So I'm going NC State -19.
It's a lot of points, Ricky. I mean, I do agree with you though. I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't take 19 points, but I don't think USF is very good, and NC State is definitely a tier above.
Yeah,
So
I like to pick. I mean, you are kind of going with last year's USF being just a terrible team, and there's been nothing to suggest that they'll be any better this year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I kind of like that pick. That's something that I would do. I was hoping you would at least pick a favorite that was favored by more than 35 or 40.
Oh, so hold on,
I
hold
mean,
on. I
yeah,
got
that was
two,
gonna be my
I got
next
two of
question.
those.
yeah, yeah.
So I got Coastal Carolina -33 against Citadel. I mean, it's a
Hmm.
Citadel. I mean, I don't got anything else to say there. And the other one is Oklahoma -31.5 against Tulane.
I knew you were
Tulane,
taking that one. I knew you
yeah,
were taking that one.
I couldn't
Yeah,
not. I mean, Oklahoma may be a national championship favorite against Tulane, that's just also been affected by Hurricane Ida. Uh, yeah,
yeah,
Oklahoma
yeah.
blow.
I think the biggest point spread I have is Notre Dame -7. Has the most points.
So who's your dog, Steven?
I have a couple of. I'm gonna give the viewers a couple different dogs, and you can just go ahead and mortgage your house for these. They're done deals.
This is why he's gonna lose.
The show is called the Squares because that's what we are. We're squares. We emotionally get involved with these teams and we pick them. But I've got so my first dog is going to be so the Weber State Utah game. So Utah is favored by 28.5. I'm taking Weber State as a dog there. Don't ask me why. Then I like to name Weber State, and I don't want to give 28.5 points.
You said Utah or Utah State?
Utah.
Okay.
They're ranked 20. They're like a top 30 team. So, but
Okay.
28 and a half is too much for that game.
All right.
And then the other one, you can pick either one's going to make you rich. But the other one that I really, really like is the Fresno State to cover 20 and a
Yes.
half. That's
I got
my
it.
pick.
Yeah, man. Hey, take 21. Can you get 21? I got 21 on that game.
You did?
Yeah. And that's my
Let me
biggest
see.
game. That's my biggest dog.
Okay.
Them and San Jose State.
Yeah,
Them at
I
16.
really like that pick because I feel like this is one of those edge games because Fresno has already played a game. So
Yeah.
and we kind
Yeah.
of seen them. So this is a secret, guys. Don't tell anybody, but they've already played a game, so
They
you
played a
kind
high
of get to
school
see.
team. It was UConn. UConn's
But
going to be the worst team in the nation.
but
I also heard on the podcast that Pac-12 teams had 9 padded practices, which, I don't know,
it's weird.
man. Yeah. So I feel like that right there, even though it is, microphone fell, even though it is a um, a lower tier team, they've maybe played a high school team, like Ricky said. It's still they got some work in. They got a lot more work in than Oregon. I think they're a little more got the jitters out.
Well,
Maybe they
hey,
get the
I mean, there's
yips.
a difference in high school teams. We're talking about IMG Academy or that fake high school team that they play.
Bishop
Oh man,
Macklemore or something, whatever it was called, the Sycamore.
yeah, yeah. They don't really have a school. They're just a group of people that get their
Dude, how bad do you feel that you're 20 or 30-year-old? Because I heard some of these guys were almost 30, and you got beat
Wow,
58-0 by a bunch of high schoolers.
man.
Yeah, they're basically a semi-pro team playing as a high school team.
Yeah, it's basically half of Alabama, Clemson future players.
All right. Well,
Hmm.
the other game that I had that you guys, if you're watching, which there's nobody watching right now, but maybe somebody will come along and watch this thing if they want to get rich. Did you guys see the over and under for the Mississippi game?
No.
Mississippi and
Oh,
Louisville.
74?
Yeah,
74 and a
yeah,
half.
yeah. I was started at 80 half.
Oh, wow.
So,
You're starting to cut out there, Steven. But yeah, I saw that, and I am not
What is
taking
the
the
over
under.
under? I couldn't hear Steven because he
Well,
broke up.
so I'm in a pool. I'm not playing the game, but I'm in a pool, and it was 74 and a half, and then apparently it's gone up to what, 80 something, Steven? Is that what you said?
it looks like the site I'm on looks like it started at 80 and a half, and now it's come down at all the books. It's hovering around 75 or 76, depending on what sports book you go to. So it's come down, but
Okay.
still, I think that's for a first game. I would definitely. I mean, we're talking about trying to mitigate risk here. I mean, I don't think it's going to be over 76.
I don't
But
know, man. Did you see Ole Miss last year? Zero defense
that
and
was
tons of offense.
last year. Yeah.
Just, you know, I don't know. In the pool I'm in. I took the over. I don't care how many points it was for that reason. But we'll see.
Okay. Any other interesting lines you guys see, or any good plays that you guys want to talk through your picks or whatever?
Yeah, we can go
For
through
the
some
game
picks if you want to, Steve.
for the game tonight, I got the over 67.5 for UCF Boise. Well, UCF's going to always put up points, and now they got Malzahn, so it should be no different.
You do realize he got fired, right? He's this
Hmm?
crappy coach.
Did they
He's a
trade
shit.
coaches? Is that what it was?
He's a shitty coach. You're actually using him as something that would help them, but he's shitty.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying they score points anyways, and they're going to continue to score points and not play defense. So,
I agree
feel
with you,
like
Ricky.
that'll be a high-scoring game. I didn't pick this game, but I feel like that Ohio State minus 14.
Hmm.
I don't know how they don't win by more. Ohio State's one of those teams, I especially think like week one, they play close, and then third, fourth quarter, they just blow the doors off teams with their speed.
Yeah, I think it was what 3 or 4 years ago they played Indiana the first game, and I think me and you were texting her this game, Ricky.
Yeah, it
And
was my bachelor
Indiana
party.
was Maybe we weren't texting, but maybe we were. I don't remember. But it was Indiana was up by like a touchdown or two at halftime, and I was like, oh man, I'm already thinking about where I'm going to use this money on my next bet. And Ohio State just came and blew the doors off on them second half. I think they won by like 4 touchdowns. It's ridiculous.
Didn't pick that game, but that might be something
Yeah.
some people want to look at.
Yep.
So why is the line so low? Like to me, that just Minnesota is returning 10 starters on offense and 10 on defense. And then Ohio State is the opposite. They're returning only 6 on offense, a new quarterback, and only 5 on defense. So is that line just reflecting the amount of experience? And I guess Ohio State, are they traveling to Minnesota? Is that where the game is at?
Yeah, it's in Minnesota.
Because to me, there's something wrong with that line. Like it seems like we should all just load up on Ohio State. But
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not playing that game. I'm staying away from that one. I do have on Friday night. I have Virginia Tech plus 5.5. Yeah. So I'm not sure about this whole North Carolina deal. I can see that game being close. So I'm taking Virginia Tech plus 5.5.
So I don't think North Carolina is going to be as good as everybody's saying they're going to be, but I think Virginia Tech Fuente is going to get fired this year. So I don't know about that game, man. Be careful out there.
that's
next-
yeah, it's
My next game, I got Whiskey minus 4.5 against Penn State.
I don't know what
like
to think
that
about
pick.
Wisconsin. After that quarterback I heard, they were good. They looked like they might be good, and then they were terrible last year. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen with Wisconsin this year. Because that kid got COVID, didn't he? Because he went to some house party or whatever. Week 2 or something. The other picks I got, UF FAU over 52. So another ex-Miami quarterback is the starting quarterback at FAU, Kosi Perry. Some of you, if you watched Miami's bowl game when King went down, he actually almost won us that game. He throws a great deep ball. So if FAU's defense or wide receivers got any speed, he should be able to hit them pretty well. Doesn't make the greatest decisions all the time, so there could be some turnover points. And then I also just think Gators coach likes to run up the score and embarrass people. So if it's like in the 30s or 40s, I could see him try to score 2 like touchdowns to make it a blowout kind of thing. So I'm going over 52. That just seems way too low to me.
I like it.
I don't like it
I
just
like it.
because of what I was talking about earlier. I don't think our offense is going to be as good as it was, and I think we're going to struggle, especially in the first game. So I don't know if Florida gets over 30, and yeah, so I think you're just going to be up against it there. We'll see. So I got Kansas State -3 and the under 53.5 in that game.
I got the -3 on that too. Yeah.
Okay. I hear a lot of bad things about Stanford. So
Yeah. The win over under on wins for the season is like 2.5, I think.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have Iowa -4.5 against Indiana. I know Indiana had a decent year last year. I don't think they're going to do as good this year.
Oh, yeah, I like that pick.
I have Texas -8 against Ulala. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like a popular pick is to pick Louisiana. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like because they've done so well the last few years, but um, what's his name? It's not the head coach at Texas, was y'all's coordinator last year. Yeah, he's a good coach. I think he's gonna help turn Texas. I think they're definitely gonna have a big improvement this year.
Is he a good coach though?
I think schematically, yeah, he's a really good coach.
I mean, he didn't do that great at Washington, right?
I don't know about that. I thought he did pretty good at Washington.
I mean, he ended up getting fired because alcohol or drugs, right? One of the-
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with on the field performance. But I mean,
Yeah. I actually like that pick.
yeah,
Just because, um, I mean, the talent level difference at Texas has got to be, it's going to be a lot higher average, recruiting rankings than Louisiana Lafayette for sure. And 9 points. It started at 16.5. That's just crazy to me that it would come down to -9. Somebody's loading up on Louisiana Lafayette, aren't they?
everybody is. That's what I'm saying. It's a real
Hello,
popular
Napier.
pick.
Hmm. Do they know something we don't, or is that just the squares?
I don't know, man. Maybe they do.
Let me consort the Phil Steele here.
You got any other picks, Ricky?
So they're returning
Just
20 starters.
Who is Ulala? Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they are returning a lot of starters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they played really well last year. Didn't they knock somebody off last year? I'm trying to find
Yeah,
their.
but
Iowa
Where is
State,
it?
right?
Yeah, you're right. It was Iowa State at the beginning of the year.
I think Texas is going to put the beat down on them, man.
So who else you got, Steven? We only heard a couple of yours.
That's all I got so far. I got, like I said, Weber State, Fresno. I'm taking Alabama in the points. I have to.
19 and a half.
LSU and then Mississippi under 76. I can't give away 76 points. Can't do it.
You'll
That's all
join the
I got so
Owners
far.
Club after that. Don't worry.
I actually like some of you guys' picks. I like the Ohio State thing now. After talking about Ohio State, I'm probably going to pick them.
Just make sure to get it in BetSperts tonight.
Yeah, I got to sign up. I may not be able to get it in. Too much going on.
The only
We'll
other
see.
2 picks I got is the over 61 Miami Alabama game. Miami plus 19 and a half. You got to keep it closer. And we will. I might even do Miami money line. Depends how I start feeling. 215. I might end up doing Miami money line. Then just taking a commanding lead into week 2 and the rest
That
of the
would
season.
definitely help you. What is the money line on that?
I don't even know.
Like plus 1,000.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, I'll blow through mine real quick. I got San Jose State plus 16 against USC. I got Texas State plus 14 against Baylor. Like Baylor's not is not gonna have a good year this year, and it's at Texas State, so it's gonna be a big game for Texas State to get a Power Five team at home. So they're gonna definitely get their best shot here. So you're getting 2 touchdowns. Also, like Texas San Antonio getting plus 5.5 against Illinois. Illinois with their big win last week. I think they're going to show their true colors this week, and San Antonio is going to keep it close. Um, South Alabama plus 1.5 against
Southern Miss.
this, and I think the game's already flipped to South Alabama's now favored, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think South Alabama's going to have a decent year this year. Southern Miss still, they're good 1 every 10 years, and this is not the year.
Frank Gore Jr., watch out.
Oh, is that where he's at?
Mm-hmm.
At South Alabama or Southern Miss?
Southern Miss.
Yeah. Sorry for him. UCLA, we talked about that, plus 3. I got the
Dang.
BYU Arizona under 54. And
Dang. Ronnie,
Cal,
you just picking all the games, aren't you?
I have a lot this week.
You
So I'm
may
definitely
you
beat my 8.
look if you put all these in bet stamps, you may have an insurmountable lead by the if you
They're all
win
in my stands right now. You can go look at them.
or
It's going
you
to
may
be out
have
of a bankroll. It's going to be out of bankroll.
It's very possible. I'll be
I
out of my
mean,
bankroll.
you mean you can't find 5 that you really like? You got to do 75.
Hey, it's a tight margin on winning percentage. So
Yeah.
and just
Now I know you're not picking this Wyoming Montana State game, right?
I'm not. I didn't.
It's not even on the board. For some reason they took it off the board. I don't know why.
I did pick
guys
Cal
know-
-3 against Nevada. So that's definitely a winner. Late night, Saturday night game. You can watch that in the hospital, Ricky. And then
Actually, Just to give you some more detail on that, I was watching some other podcasts. They said Nevada hasn't been able to practice because of forest fires.
Yeah, they're having a lot of issues for sure.
Has anybody been able to find the
Have
line
that.
on McNeese State against UWF? Because if you find a line, you bet the house on UWF. Beat the doors off McNeese State.
I think usually the FCS games they don't pop up with a line until till like right before, like maybe less than
You
24
have
hours.
$10,000. Put $10,000 on UWF. Nobody's going to know anything about them. They're going to be thought they're going to lose to because McNeese State's an FCS team. They went 3-4 last year. They beat nobody's. UWF, Division II national champions, reigning Division II national champions, 2-year national champions. We're about to make it 3 years in a row. Best team in Division II, maybe even in Florida, with the exception of Miami.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look for it. I mean, they have like Long Island versus FIU, or Houston Baptist versus New Mexico on here. So I'm a
Those are
little
still
worried that
FBS.
since it's not an FBS school, they're not going to get on there. But I think there's a chance. I'm definitely going to look for it. So,
Also, if there's any futures on UWF to win national championship, bet the house. If there's any futures on Austin Reed to win the Heisman for Division II, bet the house.
If you need
If
a
you need
loan
any
for that,
insider information, huh?
talk to Ronnie.
We can work out a good interest rate for you.
If you need any insider information about UWF, please let me know.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, especially this is really for Ricky. Are you sure you don't want to take Pitt as a favorite? They are a 38-point favorite over
So
Mass.
there was a podcast I was listening to that everybody was on that ship. That you take, they were actually not so much saying the 38, they were
Please.
saying the 56 total points, I think it was, or something like that. Take it.
What, the under or the over?
It's
Over.
56. 56 points. Yep.
Because UMass is that terrible and Pitt's going to score 900 points against them. I don't know. Is Pickett still Pittsburgh's quarterback? Because they got
Darn.
some speed in a couple of wide receivers positions. So, I mean, they could probably put up some points.
Talking about quarterbacks has been there forever. The Nebraska quarterback, was it Blake Martinez? It seems like he's been there for 10
Adrian
years.
Martinez, yeah.
It seems like he's been there for 10 years. Like literally 10
Well,
years.
him and Scott Frost will no longer be there after this year.
Yeah, it's not looking good there.
Talking about disappointing alumni coaches. It's probably number one there.
Yeah. Hey, he's got the rest of the year to turn it around.
All right. But before we end this, who's your playoff picks?
Oof. I haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, you got to go with Clemson in the ACC because they have what this week, and then that's it. Who else they play this year?
Miami in the ACC championship. I mean,
All right, so
come
you
on
got
now.
this game, and that's it. And then, I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how the Georgia game goes. If they win, then they'll
And
probably
with it, Clemson's not going to make it in.
huh?
You think Clemson will make it in if they lose to Georgia?
Well, it depends on how many undefeated teams they are. If Notre Dame, I don't know who Notre Dame's going to play this year, but if they go 12-0, then of course they're going to they'll get in and get stomped, and then take up one of the 4 picks. If Georgia only loses to Alabama in the title game, SEC title game, then they have a good shot of getting in. I mean, it's hard to not pick Alabama. And Ohio State, they're a class of their own in the Big Ten. Do they even play
Who you
anybody
got playing
outside
in the
the Big Ten
championship?
this year? I don't know that they do.
Who
So
do you got going to the championship and winning then?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to not pick Alabama.
Oh, come on. Okay, so Alabama's your pick. Steven, who you got in the playoffs?
Alabama.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
Who's the
San
other,
Jose
who's the
State?
other 3 teams?
I mean, but the point I think Ricky, I think the point you're trying to make, maybe you're trying to make it, is that there's really only about 4 or 5 teams
That's exactly the point.
that it's even in the realm of possibility, unless something changes that we don't know about, which could happen.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking what? Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, and what was the other team I was thinking about? Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State. Just think one more.
Alabama,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah, Oklahoma, yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How about you? I guess you're asking that question because you're gonna pick Miami, right?
So I got Oklahoma. You got Bama. And then, yeah, I guess you got to go Ohio State and Clemson. With probably an Oklahoma Bama game. I'm going to just go different. I'll pick Oklahoma. I'll pick
Yeah.
Oklahoma to beat Bama in the championship. Them to finally pull it off. And then Lincoln Riley leaves the NFL.
Listen up, America. There's money to be made elsewhere besides the national championship game. You can bet Fresno State plus 21 against Oregon this weekend and make all the money you want. And we gave you probably what, 15 other picks. So
But
Gave you
Great
like
football.
45 picks.
so we need to make sure our viewers understand that this is strictly for entertainment purposes. Don't bet.
Gamble
Don't.
responsibly.
Yeah.
Call 1-800-GAMBLING.
I actually place a bet on
Anonymous.
any of these games. So I don't really bet.
Yeah, because it's not legal
right.
where we live.
That's right. All right, man.
You
What's
got the
it,
outro music, Steven?
I don't have I don't have the Audi music.
Oh, man.
Should I? What's wrong with that, man?
All right, we're going to cut.
What happened to our outro music last week or last season?
I'm too scared. I'm gonna get banned from.
I thought you pulled it from one of those
I did,
free.
but I did,
What's
but
What's the downside of getting banned from YouTube? What else are we doing on YouTube?
We're gonna lose a huge revenue stream, guys.
What else are we doing? Besides, isn't there like free music you can use? Were you using that?
yeah, well, it was free, but sometimes they say it's free and it's not. So, I'm gonna share my screen, guys. You see my screen here? Can you guys take a? I can't talk trash, but can you take a picture of this QR code
I'm
over
not
there?
taking a picture of that. America, do not take a picture of that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. There's something behind that that I do not want to see.
He's gonna take all your Venmo money.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna leave it here. Scan the QR code if you want some really inside information.
All right.
Otherwise, see you guys next week, and I hope you lose all your damn picks and your bankroll is negative by the end of the weekend.
You as well, my friends. You as well.
All right, guys. See you.
All right, see you.
Bye.